Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the two young Dolph murder suspects. Now, I'm talking about the man by the name of Justin Johnson, aka Straight Dropp, who's a local rapper there in the Memphis scene and has been implicated in this crime, you know what I mean? And the other guy, Cornelius Smith, who's not really known on the rap scene, but is one of the other lead suspects in this shooting death of young Dolph, who is a beloved Memphis rapper, well known throughout the industry, well known throughout, hip hop regardless, right? Now, the two shooting suspects were back in court today because there was a whole big ordeal the last time they were in court about 2 weeks ago where the judge wanted to see if they could obtain legal counsel. And they both made it seem like they were having no problem getting a lawyer. They had the money, wasn't no issue, but it looks like something might have went wrong in court today that might, stretch out this process, as well as the federal marshals having to actually grab Justin Johnson again, according to some reports that's out there. Now, before we get to the specifics and talk about this whole ordeal that took place in court today, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, man, let's talk about what went down in court today. But first, let's do some backtracking and talk about what went down in court about 2 weeks ago. So the DA, who's the lead DA on this case, he has to agree to certain terms in the case with the judge and with the defense attorneys. And the last time that Straight Dropp and Cornelius Smith were asked by the judge if they can get some lawyers, they said they could. But, the DA went to the news and talked about how this could be a long process. So let's look at a clip from back 2 weeks ago where he discussed this.
Okay, so we saw, but what exactly happened today?
Today we had the two defendants, Mr. Johnson and Mr. Smith, in court for the first time on the murder of Adolph Thornton, young Dolph. It was set for arraignment. Both of the defendants asked for more time to get attorneys hired. They said we'll come back in about a week and a half for that.
Okay, so as you heard in that clip, the district attorney said that the judge gave a limit, gave a time limit for both suspects to show up and have an attorney present with them, And that was today. They were supposed to be there with an attorney. And the judge actually told both of them, He was being very direct. He was being direct with them and letting them know, like, yo, man, next time we show up, make sure you got an attorney, and asked them several times if they had an attorney to make sure that they could meet this timeline. But it looks like something might have went wrong. But let's look at actually when they were in court and they agreed to the terms of what the judge said.
Telling the Judge Coffee, I cannot afford an attorney. I will appoint an attorney for you. Do you understand it, sir? You can afford an attorney. Let's stand up for a second also. Mr. Smith, if you tell me that you cannot afford an attorney, I will appoint a lawyer for you also. Do you understand it, sir? You tell me that you can afford an attorney. Mr. Johnson, Mr. Smith, you do not need the court to appoint an attorney for you. Is that correct? Mr. Smith,
Now, as you heard in that clip, the judge asked them several times if they could afford an attorney, if they were able to get an attorney, and they both said they were. Well, it looks like it went different today in court. And there's a news reporter from the Fox News local there in Memphis who's been covering this story, and he put out this post on social media right now, and it's a video of them entering the court. So let's check that out. Now, in that post on social media, he had a lot to say, man. And he broke down what took place pretty much this morning in court. So this is what it said. It said, young Dolph accused killers Justin Johnson and Cornelius Smith requested the judge give them one more week to allow their families to finalize arrangements on hiring lawyers to represent them. Judge Coffee set next Friday as the hard deadline, or they will be appointed public defendants. So basically, it seems like a lot of the things that they were saying in court 2 weeks ago, something must have went wrong. They couldn't hire a lawyer, or maybe there were issues with like finding a lawyer to represent them in Memphis. They could be having issues like that, which isn't odd, man, because all the stigma around this case. and the fact that young Dolph was a beloved member of the community there in Memphis. You know, outside of all his rap beefs and all that other stuff, most people seem to like young Dolph. You seen he was giving up stuff out to hospitals and doing a lot of charitable stuff, building up the community, owning properties. The kind of person that people like, the kind of person who contributes to society, no matter if you like his music or not, right? So I don't know if that's the issue with them getting an attorney, or maybe it just might have been a financial thing. You never know. But regardless of what it was, they asked for an additional week in order to get an attorney. So we'll see how this pans out for them in the future. So let's take a look at this news story from the Memphis Fox 13 News there. And it starts off by talking about exactly what went down. And it also talks about the fact that a federal warrant is out there right now for straight Dropp. Like, it's crazy, man. This case is starting to build for straight Dropp, I'm guessing. Now, the story says this. It says, a judge previously gave Smith and Johnson 9 days to return to court with information about whether they hired an attorney or whether a public defender will be appointed. Now, a public defender would be, you know, your legal counsel if you don't have any money. And, you know, public defenders get a bad rap, but, you know, sometimes that works out for people, you know, where they can get a deal or something like that, depending on how involved the public defender is in these cases. But that's the final option if these cats can't get an attorney, right? Now, the story also says Johnson had also been remanded to custody of U.S. Marshals following a federal warrant. He's accused of violating federal supervised release for a past weapons charge. So it looks like straight Dropp, aka Justin Johnson, had a federal warrant out there, so they were having a little mix-up, and they weren't even sure if he was going to make it to court today. But obviously that got cleared up, and he was able to make it into court today. And he had a past gun charge that was hanging out there as well, man. So, man, we'll see how this will affect the case in the future, or if it'll have any effect. So it looks like the judge set a hard line date of a week from now for them to be back in court with an attorney, or they're going to get that public defender. So we'll see, man. We'll see how this thing goes. And it looks like it's going to be an on-running story. But what do you guys think about this, man? Do you think that straight dropping them might just be really having an issue trying to find an attorney locally, or even just trying to find an attorney, period? Or do you think there might be something else going on here? Or what do you think about the fact that straight Dropp has a whole nother federal warrant out there because of his situation with another weapons case, according to these reports? Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell, so that way you get a notification every time I drop this out content. And we out of here. Peace.